Can you still buy property in Tuscany for under 40,000 euros? Tuscany is known as one of the most expensive regions in Italy. But I found two very different homes, a 25,000 euros apartment with a garden and a much larger house nearby. Both are for sale right now, both are livable, but one of them makes a lot more sense than the other. So what do you actually get for your money here in this part of Italy? And which one would I choose after seeing both? So let's start with the 25,000 euros home. It's located in Castell'Ottieri, a small medieval village just a few minutes from Sorano in southern Tuscany. And one thing I noticed straight away is that you can actually get here by car, which isn't always the case in these historic villages. As you walk in, you come straight into the living space. It feels simple, warm, and very traditional. Exactly what you would expect from an old village apartment in Italy. Then you move into the bedroom. It's a good size, definitely usable. I would probably update it a bit to make it feel lighter and more comfortable. Next is the bathroom. And this is where the layout becomes a little unusual, which personally I am not a big fan of. You actually have to go through here to get to the terrace. But then you step outside. And this is where the property completely changes. I really like this outdoor space. Surrounded by greenery, it feels peaceful, private, and very typical of life in this part of Italy. And this is where my opinion about this property started to shift a bit. I can easily imagine mornings here, coffee outside, quiet evenings, just enjoying the slow rhythm of village life. But going back inside through the living area and into the kitchen. It is simple and functional, with a wood-burning stove that adds character. But this is definitely one of the areas I would update over time. Then, a few steps down, you reach a large cellar carved into the rock. At first, it feels a bit dark, almost forgotten. But then you start to see the potential. This kind of space is very common in older Italian homes, and it could become a storage or a workshop or a wine cellar or something more creative, depending on your vision. What would you do with it? There is also the option to buy a separate piece of land for 3,000 euros. It's about 1,700 square meters, just 600 meters away from the house, with two small rural buildings. So that could be a long-term project or simply your own private piece of countryside. A garden, few olive trees, or a quiet retreat away from everything. So at this point, I thought this might actually be the better option. The structure itself seems solid. Built in the 1950s, renovated in 1991, and the roof redone about 10 years ago. So for a place at this price point, it is in a pretty decent condition. For 25,000 euros, this feels like one of those affordable properties in Italy you could move into straight away and slowly shape it over time. But then I started wondering, if you are already spending around 25,000 euros, would you stretch it a little? Because just a few minutes from here, there is another home, and it has a very different feel. From the square, you walk down a narrow cobbled street, lined with old stone houses, little doors, wooden shutters. It feels quiet, a bit worn, but plenty of character. I love streets like this. From the outside, it feels more like a traditional townhouse. Simple, slightly aged, but blending naturally into the street. It's around 100 square meters, spread across 3 floors. Inside, you walk into a long entrance corridor, and what stands out straight away is the exposed stone along the walls. It gives the space a more authentic feel. On the right, there is the bathroom. You've got the same stone detail here, with the arch shape built into it. It feels quite distinctive. It's not modern, but quite nice and fully usable. Further down the corridor, you get to the first bedroom. It's a good size, simple, and again, you've got the exposed stone and wooden beams. This one I actually wouldn't change much. Then heading upstairs, you start to understand the space a bit better. You come up to this level and it splits into two. The living room is on one side. It feels very personal, a bit nostalgic, with the outdated furniture and old photos. Not modern, a bit dated. But with some new furniture, this could easily become a really nice living space, with a lovely view over the countryside. Then through a small corridor, you reach the kitchen. It's simple, but that brick fireplace really stands out. It's not polished, but it has warmth. Then going up again, you get to the top floor. There are 2 more bedrooms up here and another bathroom, which I actually like. You don't have to go up and down the stairs in the middle of the night when the nature calls. The layout feels more spread out, a bit more private compared to the first property. So here you have 3 bedrooms. You could turn one of them into a home office, study room, or a library if you like. This feels more like a complete home, something you could move into immediately and then gradually improve it over time. There is also a large cellar carved into the rock around 30 square meters, perfect for storage and for all the things we collect over the years but rarely use. And this house is currently for sale at 38,000 euros. Stepping outside, you are in the center of a small medieval village in Tuscany. This is the kind of place that only works for a certain type of person. It's quiet, not touristy, with just a few hundred residents. A very authentic village lifestyle. But at the same time, there is still life here. Local traditions, seasonal festivals, and historic events are part of the rhythm of the village, not something created for visitors. Above it all, you've got the ruins of Castell'Ottieri, with a fortress dating back to the 12th century overlooking the area. You really feel that history here, in the stone, the streets, the atmosphere. There is a bus service, but realistically, having a car is essential in this part of Italy. For your day-to-day needs, the closest town is Sorano, about 10 minutes from here, with small supermarkets, cafes, and basic services. For something a bit bigger, you've got Pitigliano, around 20 minutes away. More shopping options, restaurants, and also the nearest hospital. And if you feel like getting out a bit more, the coast is about an hour drive from here. Siena is about 90 minutes, and Rome or Florence for the airport is roughly about 2.5 hours. So, in the end, it really comes down to what kind of property you are looking for here in Italy. The first one, the 25,000 euros apartment, gives you that outdoor space, the terrace, and a more open feel. Something that's quite rare at this price point in Tuscany. The second, the 38,000 euros house, offers more space overall, spread across 3 floors, and I really like the features there. The exposed stone, the historic street setting, and those extra rooms. I could easily turn one of them into home office or a guest room. And if I'm honest, I really like the house more as a space. But I think I would still choose the 25,000 euros apartment. Even though the bathroom layout is a bit awkward and the entrance opens directly onto the street, it's the outdoor space that wins it for me. The terrace, the views, the extra piece of land, the space, the freedom, the country, the nature, and especially the cellar. That's the kind of space I would turn into something really special. Maybe a home spa, a small gym, or even my own wine cave. So, which one would you go for? The 25,000 euro apartment or the 38,000 euros house? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear which one would you choose. If you enjoy these kinds of affordable homes and real property tours in Italy, I share new videos every Thursday from now on. And on Sundays, I take you along with me as I search for my own home in Puglia, taking it one step at a time. So if you want to follow that journey, it would be nice to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on Sunday on Expat Explorer.